She made a marriage of convenience with this guy who turned out to be an absolute scoundrel, but completely charming. Took her money and bought coffee with it, which you can't grow in the Highlands.
I didn't buy cattle. We are going to grow coffee instead.
Don't know anything about coffee.
You plant it, it grows.
We said we would do a dairy, and my mother put her money up.
Yeah, whether it's cows or coffee, as long as it pays.
Next time you change your mind, you do it with your money.
Klaus was the only actor I ever saw in the role.
Be careful.
He was the first actor I wanted, and at a certain point, it looked like I wasn't going to be able to get him, and I just could not think of another actor who could do it. He does every despicable thing possible to that woman, and they still end up friends, and you have to believe it.
How do you manage it? Keep us friends.
We started that way.
Klaus was a difficult man. He's a very complicated man. He has a sense of unease that he carries around a lot. He isn't necessarily looking to have a good time on the movie like I am.
The first years of marriage to Bror were a voyage of discovery. They worked the farm together, determined to yield great harvests. They went on safari together, where Karen proved to be the equal of any hunter. But the love of adventure and the life force that it unleashed captured Bror completely. His boundless charm and stamina were soon legendary. He could drink through the night at the club and then safari all day. Karen was equally true to herself, and she preferred to be isolated on the farm. She had no patience for the prosaic pomp of the English colonialists. She cured her alienation by looking after the native population attached to her land.
Chief Kinanjui, I've heard that you are wise chief. Foreign, not now, please. And I look forward to our dealings. I hope that...
This chief has no British.
It was not easy to get to know the natives. They were quick of hearing and evanescent. If you frightened them, they could withdraw into a world of their own in a second. Until you knew a native well, it was almost impossible to get a straight answer from him. To a direct question as to how many cows he had an eluding reply. As many as I told you yesterday. It goes against the feelings of Europeans to be answered in such a manner. It very likely goes against the feelings of the natives to be questioned in this way.
She had found her element among the Africans. She carried sugar and pennies in her pockets for the children and snuff for the old women, which, needless to say, made her extremely popular. But more important than her charity was her open heart. Strangers would come to her for refuge after being mistreated elsewhere. The natives placed absolute trust in her. The old women gave her the name Jerry, a feminine Kikuyu honorific, which means, among other things, the one who pays attention. She was the only Westerner to literally embrace and carry a native child. In turn, they called her their mother.
Because of their gift for myths, the natives can also do things to you against which you cannot guard yourself and from which you cannot escape. They can turn you into a symbol. I was well aware of the process, and for my own use, I had a word for it. In my mind, I called it that they were brass serpenting me.
These Kikuyu want to be sick now.
Good Lord.
I was a doctor to the people on the farm most mornings from 9 to 10. And like all great quacks, I had a large circle of patients. And generally between 2 and a dozen sick people up by my house then. I knew very little of doctoring, just what you learn at a first aid course. But my renown as a doctor had been spread by a few chance-lucky cures, and had not been decreased by the catastrophic mistakes that I had made.